Hello TTI students, and welcome to another week of graphic design. This week we're going to be working with the program Adobe After Effects. So there's a file that you all need to grab. It's going to be in your content section under After Effects Overview. What you need to do is grab that file and we're going to download that file. The name of that file is beach.psd. Alright, let's jump into the computer down here and we're going to get to work. Alright students, so I'm going to first show you where to find the content. In the content browser over here, we have our Week 12 After Effects Overview. And I'm just going to click on the Beach file to download it. It should take me to a page that says download. I'm going to hit download. I actually already have the file, so I'm just going to pull it up. It's right here. So what I'm going to do is I actually have to open up After Effects first. Water break. So when I open up After Effects, I'm going to get the splash screen, of course. And the first thing I'm going to do once I get inside After Effects is I'm going to create a new composition. And in our composition, I'm actually going to change this to 720 by 25 frames per second. This is just so we have a smaller file. It's a little bit easier to work with. That way we can upload it very quickly onto our Dropbox. So I'm going to do this 720 by 25. Alright, so to import my file, I'm going to actually do a quick drag and drop here. It's going to work a little bit better than trying to go through the file browser. So I'm going to copy that over. Then it's going to give me some options. I'm going to choose, instead of footage, I'm going to choose composition. And I'm going to leave my layers editable. This allows me to actually edit each layer as an individual piece. And as you can see here, my layers are all intact. I have my beach ball layer. I'm going to pull the beach ball layer down, and I have my beach layer. I'm going to pull my beach layer down. For my beach ball, I can hit S, and there's a list of commands here. I'm just going to put it over here. I'm going to stretch it out. It's going to just cover my face a little bit. These are some of our shortcuts, so it'd be a good idea to write these down because you're going to be using these in your final project. So the A stands for anchor, S stands for scale, P stands for position, and R stands for rotation. And these are literally just keys that you're going to hit on your keyboard for each one. So the first thing we're going to change is our scale for both of these. So I'm going to hit S on both layers, and it's going to pull up a little scale thing. All right, now I'm going to resize my layers, and I can resize them here in scale. Put my beach ball just so it fits within the frame. And I'm going to scale down my background so that the edges just touch the edge of the frame. It doesn't have to all be in there for the background, because it is a background, it can bleed over a little bit. All right, the next thing I'm going to change, and this is only for the beach ball, is I have to change my anchor point. So I'm going to hit A, and then you see down here it changed to anchor point. And what I can do is I can change where my beach ball is, and I want the anchor point to be in the center of the beach ball. Somewhere centered like that. Once I'm done with that, my anchor point is done. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move the position. So I'm going to hit P, position. I'm going to drag my beach ball down to where I want it to start. So now I have it right where I want it to start. And then I'm going to click on this little stopwatch, and this just tells me to create a keyframe. Keyframes, the overall premise of a keyframe is in order to create motion between one place and another place. So think of it like the stop motion project that we did. Each one of those frames is going to be a keyframe. What Adobe After Effects does is allows you to blend those frames together so that you get a smooth motion across them. So we've created our first keyframe. Now we're going to go to the 5-second mark, somewhere in between 4 and 6. We're going to just move our object. And once we've created the keyframe, After Effects knows that we are creating a motion here. So it's going to draw that motion path in between. If I hold down Shift, I can make my motion very symmetrical and linear. So I'm going to do that. If you want, you can have your beach ball go off the screen, but I'm just going to have mine end right here. All right, so there we have our motion. The next thing we're going to do is, now that we've defined our anchor point, we can actually do some rotation on this image. So I'm going to hit R, and you'll see rotation come up. And I'm also going to make this keyframe, but I'm going to start at the beginning, hit the keyframe, so it's going to make a keyframe right at the beginning. And I'm going to go to this 5-second mark. And you can notice by the green, it tells me where my animation has been. So I'm going to go right to the 5-second mark. And I'm going to rotate, I'm going to go to 200, so let's go 300. So I'm going to do 300 degrees of rotation. And now my beach ball will rotate as if it's rolling along the beach. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to shrink this down so that my entire project is only 5 seconds. It's really short. So there we go. A simple moving object across a background. So now I'm going to hit Control S to save. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as, just to save my project. I'm going to put it in my documents. I've already created a folder here, After Effects tutorial. And I'm just going to call this Beach Ball. I'm going to hit save. It's going to save my After Effects project file. And then I'm going to go to File, Export, and I'm going to go to Add to Render Queue. I just added 2 of them, so I'm going to delete one. Yes, so I can click on where it says lossless. And now we have all of our different types. We're going to leave it as an AVI. We're going to use RGB. Those are web colors. And I'm going to hit OK. And then I need to make an output name for my file. So where it says output to, it's going to output to this AE tutorial, and it's going to be an AVI. And I'm just going to call this Beach Ball Roll. All right. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to hit render. And then it should render my 5-second clip. The rendering shouldn't take very long, hopefully. And then once you're done, what I want you to do is you should submit that AVI file to the Dropbox, and I can view your rolling beach ball. All right? The next thing that we're going to have is we're going to have a quiz. The quiz is going to contain just a couple things. You're going to have your shortcuts there, your anchor, scale, position, and rotation. There's going to be a little bit of quiz questions on what composition is, so make sure to review that. And then lastly, keyframing and how keyframing works. And that's really it. So it should be relatively simple. It shouldn't take very long. And there goes your sound. And we're all set. So I will see you all next week. Have a great week and stay on top of your work. All right.